What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, February the 3rd, and this is my news radar. So the first news story is kind of a news story, kind of just like a question for you Surface Duo users out there on planet Earth. I was browsing the Facebook group Surface Duo Central, and I came across a post on there where basically a user is saying that their battery is now lasting about half as long than before after the January update. And in addition to that, there were actually, a couple of responses there that said, yep, that theirs is in fact experiencing some lesser battery life as well. So basically what I want to know here from you guys is, one, what has your experience been after this January update? Are your bugs improved? Is your performance truly improved? And how specifically, how is that battery life? I want to point out that for me, my battery life has remained very good. Right now, as I'm filming this, it is approximately 11:56, and I have 79% battery with 1 hour and 15 minutes of screen time. That's quite good. That's fine. It says it should last till about 12:30 a.m. at current trajectory. That's all fine. That's all very good. I've used it a decent amount this morning. Everything's fine on my end. My bugginess has improved considerably. The smoothness, the touch stability. I've talked about this in my January update discussion earlier on last month. But I would love to know about the battery issue specifically, because this is something I've not only seen there, but I've actually seen a little bit on Twitter as well. So have you guys had a decrease in your battery? Sound off, please, in the comments down below. So now let's talk about something that Huawei has been up to. It's been really interesting to watch Huawei as they have gone from being able to have straight up Android with the Play Store and Play services and everything enabled, as they made some really interesting, really good devices, to now not being able to have the Google Play Store or the Play services due to some legal things that I'm not going to get into because I'm not a legal expert, to the shock and surprise of many of you, I'm sure. They have something that they're working on called HarmonyOS, and this was supposed to be Huawei's attempt to say, all right, Android, no more Play services, none of that stuff. Fine. We don't need the Play services. We don't need Android. We're going to make our own OS. And in fact, if you jump over to HarmonyOS.com, you see exactly what I'm talking about. The versatile, all-scenario intelligence for every facet of daily life. They're going to put it on appliances, on phones, on all sorts of crazy things, on their watches, and it's going to be great. Cutting-edge hardware. Man, it's going to be an ecosystem. HarmonyOS. It's going to be tremendous. Well, strangely enough, we actually got a look here at HarmonyOS, and it turns out it's literally just Android 10. They've done effectively nothing to this. Of course, this is referencing an article from Ars Technica, a guy named Ron Amadio, who you may remember from his absolutely seething, angry review of the Surface Duo. If you haven't read it, it's definitely worth a read. If you haven't felt your blood pressure go up, if you're a Duo user and you've enjoyed your Duo and you want to hear someone write for like 4 pages things that don't represent reality, maybe a good... maybe that's too harsh. Maybe it's not. How about you just go find it, Google it, read it yourself, and see what you think. But that's the same guy that wrote this article about HarmonyOS, and he did a really good job of breaking down HarmonyOS, but it's really long. So Android Authority, I think, has a little bit more of a truncated version of it, because there's a lot there, but there's not a lot there, because honestly, it's just kind of funny to me that Huawei is like, we're going to make our own OS, and then it appears that literally all they did was take Android and then just remove any mention of the word Android in it and change it to HarmonyOS and pretend like no one would notice. To make matters even stranger, the screenshots posted in the article comes from what Amadio assumes is a physical device located somewhere in China. You can't just download this. You have to sign up for this beta program, which apparently requires a 2-day background check to process. Then you are cloud streaming it, Game Pass or Stadia style, to whatever you're looking at this beta OS on. Really weird stuff. It says he had to submit his passport and a photo of his credit card to be part for his application access HarmonyOS. That's absolutely wild. No clue why that would be necessary. But like it says here, basically it's just Android 10. So I don't know why they're calling it HarmonyOS or what kind of tomfoolery they're trying to pull here, but it's just Android. I think the bigger story here is that basically put in a position that Huawei is in where an Android is just not what it should be for them. No Play services. Instead of saying, man, we got to build a new OS, they're still going to roll with Android. That's how much better Android is than just trying to make your own alternative. There's been lots of talk with the Duo about, man, I wish it was running Windows or Windows 10X or whatever. Well, guys, look, there's a reason that it's running Android, and it's the same reason that Huawei, being a massive corporation, isn't going to try to build another OS. The pitfalls will still be there. You're better off running a horribly stripped down and restricted version of Android than you are trying to start from scratch and build your own mobile OS. So speaking of trying to build your own system from the ground up, let's talk about Google Stadia. Obviously, Google Stadia was Google's attempt to enter the game streaming market. It was a deal where you could subscribe to a subscription service that would allow you to stream games from the cloud to your computer, to your phone, whatever, and game with their handy-dandy little controller. Not only were they going to do game streaming, they were actually in the process of developing their own games. Well, that is until now, because they are shutting down their internal studios before they ever released their first game. This article reads here, Google will close its 2 game studios located in Montreal and LA. Neither had released any games yet. That closure will impact around 150 developers. One source familiar with Stadia operations said. The company says it will try to find those developers new roles at Google. That's a positive thing there, but it's kind of crazy and maybe not super shocking from one, Google's track record of canceling everything, and 2, just the idea of this game streaming has just really not taken off the way that I think a lot of people thought it might, the way Google hoped it would, but at least it's good that maybe some of these guys aren't going to just be totally without work at this point. Now, that does not mean that Stadia is going away. It will continue to operate basically exactly as it has been because those games never came out. So nothing's really going to change as far as that goes. But the big change here is that Google is planning to open its Stadia tech to publishers, open up the possibility for Stadia to become the streaming tech for other video game companies. So it sounds like what they're willing to do now is to say, okay, look, Stadia isn't going to be this runaway success we hoped it would, but the tech we've built to stream games is good. And I will tell you right now that it is good because I've tried Stadia. I've tried xCloud. Stadia is better. The latency is less and the picture quality is better for my experience. From what I've seen, it is the better streaming solution. So Google's going to say, look, if you want to license our tech, we're open to that now. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Stadia just wasn't shut down after 6 months because I don't know, is anybody using it? Have you subscribed? Do you know anyone that is using Google Stadia? I don't. But the tech is cool, so at least the tech might not die and these developers might not be out of a job totally. So guys, that's all the news I have for you today. Please check back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the next episode of News Radar. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.